Say it with me, everybody. The Nintendo Switch Pro. Oh, I would like to call it, if I have anything to say about it, the Super Switch would be the best name they could possibly choose.
I think it'd be awesome if they did. They won't, but I think it would be cool if they did and actually did like a throwback type of logo.
They would be
same Nintendo Switch logo, but like a cool like purple cursive super up sideways over the logo. Oh man, that'd be so sick.
I think Super Switch is more likely than Pro because everyone and their mother has said the word Switch Pro.
It will not
on the
internet.
internet.
Will not be called the Pro.
Everyone has said on the internet Pro.
That's Sony's thing.
Sony's thing. Nintendo's gonna go, oh, that's the word everyone's saying a lot, so we're not gonna do that one because we're Nintendo and we're too cool for school. So, but if they don't, I just have a feeling they're not gonna go with Super Switch. I have that feeling. I think I'm right about it. I hate that, but the Super Switch, it just makes so much sense. But anyway.
Look at that guy. Okay. Anyway, NVIDIA makes the guts of the Switch, the brains of the Switch, the Tegra X1 chip or whatever the new one's called. I can't remember. Tegra something. I don't know. It's basically the same thing. It just gives better life because it, has better performance. They make the Switch run. They had some issues there. They had some stuff leaked. They had some files stolen. Opened up. Basically, what we saw was the next version of NVN. Okay. It's the API for the Switch. Inside these files, we're seeing a bunch of all this stuff, and we've all talked about DLSS, deep learning, super sampling. That's something NVIDIA does. That's all over these files. But something else that was in these files, which is, this pretty much tells you what they're working on here. NVN2, which is a new API. Now, NVN was made for the Switch, specifically for Nintendo, specifically for the Switch. I don't know why there would be any reason that NVIDIA would be working on NVN2 for anything other than the next iteration of the Switch.
Your logic in that video was perfectly sound.
It doesn't make sense for it to be anything else. They literally made this shit for Nintendo. Yep. I don't think Nintendo would be very happy if they were like, "Oh no, it's cool. We're gonna give it to these guys over here. It's fine, right? No big deal." Like, right. No, absolutely not. It's for. I don't know. It may not be a Switch. Again, you can look at the sales of the Switch and the way Nintendo is going right now. I don't think they're getting off the Switch anytime soon. This hybrid system, maybe it isn't the Switch. Maybe it's Switch 2 or called something else. But this hybrid, this hybrid system's here to stay for the foreseeable future. Now, the one we have is obviously miles behind everything else. Something like this, something with a little bit different hardware inside, the hardware capable to run the DLSS. The possibilities are... And just an updated, like that, the Switch is running off of 2014 stuff, right? Yeah.
Phone technology
all
from 2014.
Stuff, yeah.
I watched someone stream a mobile Fortnite the other day off an iPad. Using,
is it beautiful?
GeForce
I bet it's
Now.
beautiful.
It's not beautiful. It's very nice. Mobile tech is great. It's taken such a leap since 2014, 2015.
Oh yeah, man, it's
crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So
we're honestly at the point now where it's kind of starting to level off as far as like advancements in technology and stuff. Now it's just like bettering all the things they can do.
I think Apple. This is not what we're going to get into, but I just want to quickly say that Apple did kind of change the game here with mobile tech. The M1 chip.
The M1 chip. Okay. The M1. Yeah.
That's a significant leap.
Clearly that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about whatever the next Switch is. They didn't want us to see that, but you get the DLSS stuff in the Switch. Just think about where you're at that point. You can see if you go look at the old videos of when NVIDIA first revealed DLSS.
You mean in this video right here that this handsome boy released?
Yes. And then go look at it now, though.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Like it's a whole nother monster
you
now.
Gotta
like
this video we're watching here from my video from a year ago.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, you can see it in this video. But this is, if you go look at it now, what it actually does, it's miles beyond this. Miles. Because they've had time to work with it. They've had time to, perfect it. You put that in the Switch, man, it's over.
Now, so I kind of want to correct you from your video. I don't know if you meant to say it like this, but you did end up saying it like this. You said in your video, you can take, and I'm quoting you. So again, you said 720 to 4K. Which
it's 1080 to 4K.
Yeah, not even though. It's not. It's one step. So 720 could go to 1080. 1080 can go to 1440. 1440 can go to 4K.
All right. Yeah,
that's too big of a jump. They could do it. It would look really weird, and it wouldn't look 4K if they took something 1080 to go to 4K. They could do it. Okay. It wouldn't look right to your eye. Though.
They can't do it yet.
They can't do it yet, right? Like I said, it doesn't look right.
Again, look at where it started and look at where it's at now.
Right, it's
miles.
It's not gonna happen.
You are right about that. After the video came out, I actually somebody commented that, and I was like, "Is that true?" And I looked, I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, cool."
Yeah, it's one step, but though that one step it takes, it works. It's as if it's as if you're looking at a 1080p image, but it's really a 720p source.
I mean, you're taking all the pressure off the system.
Right, so
it doesn't have to work anymore.
So here's the thing:
it's just running the algorithms.
Yeah. You can actually make the Switch One run it at 480, but now the Switch can play a game that at 720 or 1080, the Switch wouldn't be able to play. It would barely crank out 30 FPS.
Yeah.
But now you can make the Switch run it at 480, which would be like, that looks terrible, 480, which some of the games on Switch do run at 480, by the way. But
I was going to say, we already actually look at that right now.
Let's take a game that would normally run at 720 on the Switch, but now it's running at 480. Now we're getting higher frame rates, but the image looks worse. That's where DLSS comes in.
Yeah,
it puts it right back. Throws you right back to 720, but now it's 60. Or like take the Korok Forest, for example, in Breath of the Wild, or Breath of the Wild as a whole. The game, it runs at 1080 on the Switch in dock mode. Let's take it back a step. Let's take it a step back a little bit for the hardware, make it run at 720. But you're going to see a 1080p image, and the frame rate's going to be 60.
Yeah.
That's what DLSS can do.
Yeah, and God, it would just be fantastic.
Yeah, we're not talking about 4K Switches. We're not talking about DLSS in a Switch or anything like that.
It's not true 4K. No, it's upscale. It's upscaled stuff, but it doesn't matter.
But we're not even talking
like some people say the technology like 4K that DLSS gives you is better than actual 4K.
It looks different. It doesn't look better or worse, in my opinion. It looks different.
I remember you telling me that. You were like, it looks different.
Yes.
But I mean, a lot of people I've heard talk about it say it looks better. It looks better. It looks sharper. It looks cleaner. It looks better. Anyway, there's more. There's more to this whole thing. There was a job listing for NVIDIA, and I don't have it in front of me. I had it up on the screen in my video. You know, again, we're going back to talking about NVIDIA here. They're hiring for somebody to work on something that they don't normally even mess with unless it's for one thing, and that's the Switch. They're talking about lower level processing power things. Like, I don't even remember what it says. If you watch my video, I put the thing up in the bottom. It's clear what they're talking about there. NVIDIA doesn't work with low-end shit unless it's the Switch. They make graphics cards for high-end PCs. Like, that's what they do. Like, they work with Nintendo and make this thing that works. I mean, and what else was the Tegra even being used for? Self-driving cars, I'm pretty sure. It was not for the Switch. It was for self-driving cars. That's where the Tegra X1, I believe, maybe it wasn't the X1, but the original version of that was in a self-driving car. I'm pretty sure that's what they were using it for. They do other things. I don't know, but why would they be hiring somebody to do something like that at this point? It's Switch 2 time. Everything they're talking about in that job listing makes perfect sense. It's talking about optimizing the new hardware, the new Switch. That's basically what they're talking about in the job listing. I don't know. I think those things together tell me, obviously, we're getting it sooner than later. I mean, I don't think it's going to, everybody says, oh no, we're not getting a new, I'm sorry. Anybody who thinks we're not getting a new Switch till 2024, 2025, you're high.
I mean, at the very least, a Switch Lite. That's very, very, very,
we're going to get a Switch Lite this year. We're going to get an OLED Switch Lite this year. I guarantee
an announcement. We'll get an announcement. I don't know if
we'll get an announcement in July.
No.
August.
Late. September, October.
No, it'll be July, August.
Like you've told me the past, hardware, they just dropped that shit, man. They just announced that.
I know, and they're going to.
Like there's a June Direct where they talk about games. They're not going to announce hardware.
No, dude, there will be there won't. No, there's going to be a June Direct. They're going to let the hype die off from that a little bit. So it'll be July, October. Bust out this OLED
that's what
Switch
I said, man.
Lights.
Yeah, October. Like October. That's basically, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, so they'll bust out this Switch Lite. It's here for holiday 2022. Sells like crazy. Sells like crazy. At this point, we got a date for Breath of the Wild 2. We know when it's coming. Halfway through the year. They say spring. I'll be surprised if we get it in spring at this point. I think
you just nailed that. I think that the announcement for Breath of the Wild 2 and the next hardware, whether that's a Switch Lite revision or whatever it is, that's coming. The date for Breath of the Wild 2 and the next hardware, I think, is going to be correlation.
I don't. I think the Switch Lite's going to come out. Someone said something in Discord today. Who was it? Who said that in Discord today? I think it might have been Chug. actually. He mentioned something about the Switch Lite OLED could easily be dropped at the same time as the new Pokemon games this year.
Before we end this podcast, I just want to remind you guys that we do upload this podcast on all the audio platforms, which you're probably listening to it right now on, and we appreciate that. It's just your favorite podcast. We do. Your favorite podcast app of choice. This podcast is most likely on it. If there is an app that you're not finding our podcast on, let me know in the Twitter. Just go ahead and you can DM me or in Discord or whatever. I'm curious if the app that you chose is not on there. Just let me know. We do upload this podcast, the full video podcast, to patrons only. Both of those links are in this podcast description, but
I just realized I didn't give my patrons the whole episode yet. Oh, I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now.
Hey,
I'm doing it right now.
I don't control Drip's Patreon. I control my own Patreon. My stuff.
I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it.
The point I'm trying to make here is that we do upload the full video podcast only to patrons. So if you want to watch this video podcast in its entirety, you can already listen to it in its entirety for free. But if you want to listen to the video in its entirety, either show up to the stream or you go ahead and be a patron and you get the VOD. No questions. You get the VOD every week, unless you're Drip's patrons. Drip, this was a good podcast. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Yeah. We're going to go to the after show and hang out with the Twitch chat. You guys, stick around. Audio listeners, YouTube people, we will see you guys next week.
Goodbye.